Welcome back to the Human Observation Lab. I'm New York, your host and observer. Today, we're going to examine something fascinating, the psychological structures behind two seemingly unrelated social phenomena that actually share a common thread.
Hi everyone, I'm Juan. I've been looking at today's topics and I have to say, they seem pretty different at first glance. One is about shareholder benefits making people happy, and the other is about a controversy with the self-defense forces. How are these connected?
An excellent question. At first glance, they appear unrelated. However, both phenomena reveal something fundamental about how humans process rewards, belonging, and the subtle ways our judgment can be influenced. Let's begin with the lighter topic, a story about a magic card.
A magic card? That sounds intriguing. Is this about some new technology?
Not technology, but psychology. Let me introduce our first case study. According to a recent article from All About Money, a 62-year-old woman with financial assets of 87.4 million yen described her experience with shareholder benefits. She said, and I quote, "Bread and groceries are 10% off. It feels like I've obtained a magic card."
87 million yen in assets. That's quite substantial. But she's excited about a 10% discount on bread? That's interesting. I mean, with that kind of money, why would a small discount matter so much?
That's precisely the psychological phenomenon we need to examine. From a purely rational economic perspective, her reaction seems disproportionate. But this reveals a fundamental truth about human psychology. Our emotional response to gains is not linear.
Not linear? What do you mean by that?
Let me explain through behavioral economics. There's a concept called mental accounting, proposed by psychologist Richard Thaler. Humans don't treat all money equally. We mentally categorize money into different accounts based on its source or intended use.
So you're saying that saving 100 yen on bread through a discount feels different from having 100 yen in investment returns?
Exactly. The 100 yen saved at the supermarket register is categorized as smart shopping, a tangible, immediate victory. Meanwhile, investment gains are often viewed abstractly, as numbers on a statement. The psychological satisfaction is vastly different.
I totally get that. When I use a coupon, I feel like I've won something, even if it's just 50 yen. But when my investments go up, it doesn't feel as personal?
That's correct. There's also another psychological mechanism at work here, the pain of paying. When we receive a discount at the moment of purchase, we directly experience the reduction of that pain. It's immediate, visceral feedback.
The pain of paying. I've definitely felt that. Handing over cash always hurts a little. So when you get a discount, it's like relief?
Precisely. And shareholder benefits add another layer. They create what we might call a privileged status. The discount isn't available to everyone, it's exclusive to shareholders. This triggers our psychological need for status and belonging.
So it's not just about saving money, it's about feeling special? Like being part of an exclusive club?
That's part of it. The article mentions that these shareholder benefits can also be used as gifts. This adds a social dimension, the ability to share one's privileged status with others. It transforms a financial instrument into a tool for social connection.
That's really interesting. So companies aren't just giving discounts, they're creating a whole emotional experience around their brand?
Exactly. From a corporate strategy perspective, shareholder benefits serve multiple psychological functions. They create brand loyalty, reduce shareholder turnover, and generate positive emotional associations. The cost of the discount is far less than the psychological capital it builds.
But is there a downside to all this? I mean, are people making irrational investment decisions just to get these benefits?
A very sharp observation. Research suggests that some investors do prioritize shareholder benefits over fundamental investment criteria. They might choose underperforming stocks simply because they offer attractive perks. This is where the psychological appeal of small rewards can override rational financial judgment.
So the magic card feeling might actually be A kind of illusion? Like we're being manipulated by our own psychology.
I wouldn't call it manipulation, but rather a misalignment between our intuitive responses and optimal decision-making. Companies understand these psychological mechanisms and design their benefits accordingly. There's nothing inherently wrong with this. It's simply how human psychology interacts with commercial systems.
That makes sense. I guess the key is being aware of it, right? Enjoying the benefits while still making smart decisions overall?
Precisely. Now, let me transition to our second topic, where we'll see how psychological mechanisms around belonging and loyalty can manifest in a much more problematic context. Our second case comes from a recent article in the Nikkei. A member of Japan's self-defense forces performed a singing act at the Liberal Democratic Party's convention. This has raised concerns about potential violations of restrictions on political activities by public servants.
Wait, an SDF member singing at a political party event? That sounds problematic. Aren't public servants supposed to stay neutral politically?
You've identified the core issue. Under Japan's Self-Defense Forces Act and the National Public Service Act, SDF members are restricted from engaging in political activities. The concern is that performing at a specific political party's convention could be seen as supporting that party.
So why would someone in that position do it? Did they not know it was against the rules?
That's where psychological analysis becomes crucial. We must consider several factors. First, the phenomenon of institutional capture, when individuals become so embedded in an organizational culture that its norms override broader societal rules.
Institutional capture? That sounds intense. Can you break that down a bit more?
Certainly. When someone works within a hierarchical organization for a long time, their sense of judgment gradually aligns with the organization's interests. The immediate authority, the superior officer, the organizational leadership, becomes more salient than abstract rules or societal norms.
So it's like, you stop seeing the bigger picture because you're so focused on pleasing the people right in front of you?
That's a good way to put it. There's also the psychological concept of moral disengagement, identified by psychologist Albert Bandura. People can convince themselves that rules don't apply in their specific situation through various rationalizations.
What kind of rationalizations? Like, it's just a song or something like that?
Exactly. Common rationalizations include, this isn't really political, it's just entertainment, or I'm just following orders, or everyone else seems fine with it. These thought patterns allow individuals to bypass their own moral judgment.
That's kind of scary, honestly. It makes me wonder how often this happens in other organizations too.
It's a phenomenon observed across many institutional contexts. The key factor is the presence of strong in-group identity combined with hierarchical authority. When these elements combine, individuals can lose sight of boundaries they would normally recognize.
So the SDF member wasn't necessarily trying to do something wrong. They were caught in a psychological trap?
I'm not making a judgment about right or wrong. What I'm analyzing is the psychological structure that enables such situations to occur. There's also the question of organizational responsibility. Was this individual put in an untenable position by their superiors?
That's a good point. If someone higher up asked them to perform, it would be really hard to say no, especially in a military culture.
This brings us to another psychological concept, diffusion of responsibility. In hierarchical organizations, individuals can feel that responsibility lies elsewhere. I'm just performing, someone else organized this, if it were really wrong, someone would have stopped it.
It's like everyone assumes someone else is making sure things are okay. But no one actually is?
Precisely. And this connects to what we discussed earlier about shareholder benefits. Both phenomena involve psychological mechanisms that can override our normal judgment, whether it's the appeal of small rewards or the pull of institutional loyalty. Now let's draw the connection between these two cases. Both reveal how psychological mechanisms can lead us to focus on immediate, tangible benefits while overlooking larger structural implications.
I think I'm starting to see it. The woman with the shareholder benefits focuses on the immediate discount, the magic card feeling, while maybe not considering her overall investment strategy as holistically.
Correct. And in the SDF case, the individual likely focused on the immediate social context, the request to perform, the positive reception, while the broader implications of political neutrality faded into the background.
So in both cases, something small and immediate is overshadowing something bigger and more important.
That's an insightful summary. Psychologists call this salience bias. Our brains are wired to respond to what's immediately visible and tangible, while abstract principles and long-term considerations require conscious effort to maintain.
That explains a lot about human behavior in general, not just these specific cases. We're always choosing between what feels good now and what's actually important.
Indeed. And this isn't necessarily a flaw, it's how our cognitive systems evolved. The challenge in modern society is that our environment has become more complex, and these shortcuts that once served us can now lead us astray.
So what can we do about it? How do we avoid falling into these psychological traps?
The first step is awareness. By understanding these psychological mechanisms, mental accounting, institutional capture, salience bias, we can recognize when they might be influencing our own decisions.
So just knowing about these patterns helps us make better choices?
It's a necessary foundation. Beyond that, we can create personal systems, checklists, reflection periods, external perspectives that help us see past the immediate and consider the broader picture.
That's really helpful. I'm definitely going to think more carefully about my own magic card moments and be more aware of how group dynamics might be affecting my judgment.
Excellent. That's the goal of our observation, to understand human behavior, not to judge it, but to navigate it more skillfully. Thank you for your insightful questions today, Juan.
Thank you, New York. This was really eye-opening. Until next time, everyone, keep observing.